Welcome, everyone. I've got Cheryl with me today, who we've been working with each other for, I think it's over a year.
Just over, I think.
Just over a year. We should have had a big anniversary cake or something. Maybe that's on the to-do list. So, thanks, Cheryl, for joining us today. Do you want to give a quick introduction for everyone about yourself?
Yeah. So my name's Cheryl. I am a IT senior project manager working in government. I've been doing that in this role probably for 15 years. So I've been in IT for 15 years.
Cool. And maybe just kind of rewind back to a year ago and where you're at. What kind of made you reach out or agreed? Because I think I probably reached out to you first of all, but what made you kind of go, yeah, let's have a conversation, let's look at, and made you kind of jump on and come on the InspireMe journey to start with?
Yeah. So at the time, probably 12 months ago at the time, I was probably struggling with work life to the point where I was questioning whether I should still be in the role I was in, whether I should be looking to strive to be something more than what I'm currently doing. I was questioning whether I needed to change roles basically, but really to basically escape the work life I'd created for myself, where I was sort of feeling a bit burnt out and feeling a little bit unappreciated and lots of things going on. So I was basically a workaholic, and it was done to my personal life as well. So I needed to say, stop for a second. I need help to try and sort of decide whether it was really a career change I needed, or I just needed to learn how to better manage myself and my time and how I work. Because I love my role. I love the job that I was in. It was just felt like I needed to escape it for whatever reason. So I was looking for some way of working through all of that to get some sort of work-life balance back and decide what I needed to do to not be feeling the way I was feeling at the time.
Yeah. That's like, for me, as you describe it, I literally just picture you kind of like like it's just like, oh, there's all this stuff kind of happening, and you kind of, I don't know, you lose a sense of clarity about what's what anymore. You know, you don't know what's good or what's bad. There's just like you're in a vortex of, you know, kind of pain almost in some ways, and you end up feeling just kind of zapped of energy.
Yeah, I just felt like I was in this constant sort of washing machine going around and around, and I was just like, didn't know whether I needed to get off or slow the spin cycle down a little bit.
That's really cool, and I think that's so symptomatic of where people are at right now. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much going on in people's lives and in the world and everything else like that, so the pressure on us are kind of even more so. But and so so over this last year, what improvements have you seen, and what have you got out of it to be able to get to where you are kind of today, I suppose?
So the group sessions, coming on to the group sessions, initially I was a little bit, not intimidated, but I was a little bit, I thought that I probably wasn't at a senior enough level or an important enough level in my work life to be able to relate to some of the other people in the group sessions stories and experiences, and but it wasn't the case at all. So I actually found, listening to all of their issues, their challenges, their experiences, their advice that they had was really relatable, because it just made me realize it didn't matter whether you were a pharmacist, a CEO, or a chief financial officer, or a salesperson running your own business, or a project manager, or a team leader of a call center staff, a group of people. We all had the same sort of issues.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter what job you had. It was the same kind of challenges around that we were dealing with in our workplaces, and also life, really. So I've actually, just from listening to, listening to those experiences and how they've overcome the challenges and what tips and strategies and advice that they had, I gained a lot from that. It gave me sort of assurance that I wasn't on my own. I wasn't going crazy, that there's lots of people out there with the same problems.
Yeah.
And there are ways to deal with them in a strategic way and practical that are really not rocket science. They're really simple steps that you can take. And also from, not just the discussions that we had, but from the sessions that we do on the Fridays, where we target a particular, strategy, like, tools and frameworks that we go through. That really helped as well. But discussing that amongst the group in the group sessions quite a lot, and referring back to what we cover off on the Friday sessions.
Yeah.
Focus sessions around, whether it be emotional mastery, EQ mastery, or, managing your internal voice, or all of those sort of things. It just beds it down for you. So, it makes things really practical, and you keep reminding yourself what you need to do that becomes behavior. So I think I've gone from being, all over the place to a level of calmness now, by being able to learn and adapt and apply some of the great insights that people have shared in the group sessions.
Yeah. I just love it. Like, it gives me tingles, like, as I've said to you on some of the group sessions, when you've come out and said something, I'm like, Cheryl, you've changed. Like, it's like, and you can sense it though, and feel it though as well, can't you?
Sometimes you get to the point where you actually put a question out, or you've got an issue, and then you end up giving yourself the advice.
Yeah.
By just talking it out.
Yeah.
With the group, you actually have the answers yourself. You just need somebody to bounce it around with.
And even the other day, someone gave advice to someone, and that person said, "Oh, thanks so much for the advice." And they said, "Oh, don't thank me, thank that person, because I took it off them a couple of months ago and it really worked." So it's like this, like, just building that sense of community and support, I suppose.
Absolutely. Oh, that's been amazing, especially with COVID and not, having the luxury of just going up to the, in the kitchen and make a cup of coffee and having a chat with a work colleague to bounce an issue or an idea off them. Having the groups actually become my social environment, and my support group, and my extended work family, I suppose. So it's been a really good community experience.
Awesome. That's so good. And like, in that way, like, some of the things that people say is, "Oh, level up your peer group," and now that's what that kind of becomes. It becomes that group. But I love some of the same things to you, that it's such a mixture of different people, but there's that commonality amongst everyone, that they're there to generally grow, develop, support, and take things to the next level.
And it's a different type of networking. It's not networking to sort of like get yourself a new job, or get something in return, sort of thing. It's networking from a real knowledge sharing and supportive aspect, and collaborate sort of thing. Like, feeling that sense that you've got a group of people that you can really collaborate with, and not feel fear being judged, or you can just be your authentic self, basically, without being judged.
And without any fear. And so, going from that place where you were in that washing machine and didn't know what was what, to now having a sense of calm and clarity and enjoyment again, like, what were, can you think about, were there like, 1, 2, or 3 golden things that, like, now looking back, like, yeah, man, those were like the 3 top things that really helped me? And it might be 4, it might be 5, it could be, but are there anything that really kind of stand out as the key things for you that really helped?
Look, doing the 16 personalities evaluation, that was a good starting springboard for me to go, right, okay, now I get what I'm I've gotten to the situation.
Yeah.
Because I was able to understand, oh, so I'm a really high accommodator. That's why I've been taking on all this work and burning myself out and all that sort of stuff. So that doing those self-assessments really gave me a lot of insight to why I've got to the stage, and then what I can do to improve and avoid the negative aspects to those traits that I have.
Yeah.
So that's been really helpful. And a lot of it was, for me, was being triggered. Like I would get triggered by people, or lack of feeling not appreciated, or taken advantage of, basically, and stuff like that. So I had to sort of work on not letting that impact me to the point where I would be angry and grumpy, and then feel frustrated and sort of self-sabotage by throwing grenades, because I felt like I was heard or listened to, or acknowledged enough. So so working on removing those unwanted triggers, and realizing that I can still be accommodating, but I just needed to work on how I better prioritize my work, and do a bit more time on goal setting, and managing my how I perform during the day, and my energy levels. Sort of that's really helped, because I still can take on a lot of work, but now I'm more calmer about it, and I've got a more of a strategic approach of how I do my work during the day. Whereas before, it was just felt like I was completely overwhelmed and constantly having to keep all the balls up in the air. So removing the triggers, and that helped me, and managing my workload by being more strategic about how I prioritize what I need to do. My must-dos, and goal setting, little goal settings for me. That's really helped, because that's reduced me feeling overwhelmed. So it's made me still know that I've got the capacity to do a lot of work, but at a calmer approach.
How you're doing it's different. And if I summarize those two, it's kind of like, the two golden things were like understanding self more, and going okay, and then better managing self. Do those two things, and 90% of the problems are kind of go away. And then maybe the third is understanding some helpful tools, tactics, advice, and guidance on things to kind of navigate it better. Put those three together, and you can dramatically improve things.
And that's the way I've thought about things. So, changing my mind, the mind shifts was really the 5 shifts. That was a really big thing for me, because I could look at things in a negative way sometimes, and when I didn't need to, and feel like I was being attacked personally, but it wasn't about me. So removing myself from the problem.
Beautiful.
So that was it. Once I learned how to do that, or become more aware that I was doing the negative thinking, I was able to then just stop, and just go, hang on a minute, because I'm now aware of my behavior. I don't need to be like that. I can just choose to think of it in a different way, approach it in a different way. And then go, right, deal with it, move on a lot quicker than dwelling in it and getting angry and putting up all this energy. And it was just toxic. So I've been able to sort of avoid that now. So I still have to deal with issues, but I just deal with them in a different way.
That's awesome. And so with all of that, if there's someone watching this who feels that they're in that washing machine or vortex a little bit, and a bit kind of like this, kind of in whatever way, what kind of advice or guidance would you give them?
There's the way out. So first is just just taking a stop, taking a bit of a deep breath, and having a look around and observing what's going on, and what's triggering you. What is there another way that you can approach this? Look at some of the tools and tips that are there that can practical things that can be applied, so you don't have to constantly be in that cycle. You can actually plan your way out of it, and with some simple strategies, really, some simple things to do, like just simply making a choice to be grumpy or not be grumpy, or be, basically. Sometimes you can't avoid it, but you know, there are ways that once you become aware of self, and those sorts of things, it does allow you to move through those emotions a lot quicker, so you're not consuming and wasting time in that space, and be using your energy to more positive outcomes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for catching up today and sharing your bits of insight for people. And thanks everyone.
But I can't remember them all.
I know, but the thing is, the top most important things kind of come to mind, and I think, you know, the advice, the advice that you give at the end there about just wherever you're at, look, there is a way out.
There is,
and just stopping and kind of feeling for yourself, what do you need to do now? Like, I think that's a key message, for instance, for everyone right now. So well, thank you very much again, Cheryl. We really do appreciate you. Take care, everyone, and see you next time. Bye now.
Bye.
If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Feel free to share with friends and check out what's up next for more videos from my channel.